Hello, welcome back for another real life food cooking segment. Today I'm going to show you how to make a warm kale salad. And if you watch any of our other cooking videos on greens, then you know it's very simple to chop and wash greens. I'm going to show you quickly again how to do that and use those other videos for review. You can just pile your leaves of greens on top of one another and roll them up, and then just go chopping them down into ribbons. This is a fairly simple way to get control of these big leaves. A lot of people like to discard the stems, but I like to use those. And then what I do is I simply submerge the greens in water, get all that sediment off that will go to the bottom. You can also use a salad spinner, and then I rinse them through a colander. That's really our first step to cleaning and chopping the greens. After you've done that, I think the most simple way of using the greens is just to boil or steam them on the stove. What I've done is brought a pot of water to boil on the stove, as you can see over here. Inside the pot is a steaming basket. You can see the steam is coming up right through the little holes in the basket, and we're going to steam our kale. Now the difference between steaming and boiling, besides the texture that it adds to the greens, is the time. You usually need about 7 minutes for steaming, and I'd say about 3 to 4 minutes for boiling. So we put the lid back on. I turn down the heat a little bit so the water doesn't overflow, maybe about to a medium high. And then just in a minute, we're going to add some great toppings to our kale to make a warm kale salad. We just steamed our kale for about 7 minutes, and you can see it's still a bright green color, which is important. We didn't lose too many of the nutrients in the water. That's what we want to do. And what we're going to do is just take our kale and put it into a serving bowl. Now there's a couple different types of kale, by the way. There's lacinato kale, which is what we're using. There's dinosaur kale, which is a little more bumpy. This is a little more kind of leafy. And then there's like a purple kale. They're all great. It's really more your preference, whatever you like. And what I find with greens is that most people don't eat them because they don't know what to do with them at this stage to make them taste delicious. So the first thing we're going to do is use a little bit of sea salt. Again, we want to use sea salt that's kind of gray in color or has different colored flecks in it, which means those minerals are still in there. And then we're going to add some great toppings. One topping that can add a real nice punch and a dose of immune-boosting antioxidants is garlic. I just took 1 clove of garlic and minced it, and I'm going to add that right into our salad raw. I'm also going to add pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are full of zinc. They're a great source of fiber and also protein. So that's another great thing. You could add also almonds or walnuts. I'm also going to add a little bit of cheese. This is a delicious raw Parmesan cheese, and raw cheeses are great because that means that their enzymes are still intact. They weren't heated at really high temperatures to lose that in pasteurization. So we have this raw Parmesan cheese straight from Italy. I'm going to sprinkle some of that on our salad. And then finally you can add something sweet like dried fruit. I'm using some raisins today. And of course we have to add that delicious extra virgin olive oil, and you can use any other type of vinegar with it, a balsamic or a red wine vinegar. Coating about 2 tablespoons at the most of olive oil, just a little bit of that balsamic vinegar, and tossing it up. Now we have our delicious warm kale salad. This is a real treat to go along with lunch or dinner. You can even add some warm chicken over this, serve it with some whole grain bread, and it's a delicious addition to any of the meals that you're having. Enjoy!